Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Captain Mike back here for another episode of Get to Know. And this one I'm really excited for. I've been a fan of this guy's content for a while now, and I'm going to give you full kind of warning up front. This may make you hungry, but that's all right because he's got the plan of where to go. And so we want to tune in because this week we're getting to know food influencer, content creator, Eric Hammer.
Bread and Salt in Jersey City might be my new favorite place of all time. No, scratch that. It is my new favorite place ever on planet Earth. We went last week for the first time.
The margarita and the Gusta pizza were both delicious. Try all of their new items this season, and that alone can compete with other stadiums. I've since been making my way through the rest of the ballpark. They've got crazy loaded fries, they've got a sick panini menu, and their egg roll lineup is ridiculous. The best being their cinnamon bun egg roll, which is actually unfair. Lots more to come from Citi Field. We go to Cleveland, where Progressive Field hosts what's new event to try all of their new items. And the Italiano is undeniably
All right, we bring him in. Eric Hammer, thank you for coming on. Man, after watching that video and even more making that video, I got a really big bone to pick with you. I'm actually quite upset with you. And I just want to let you know, as a big man, I'm watching you eat all that, and then I see your size. Dude, how do you not weigh like 700 pounds?
I welcome all the bones to pick, but first that was my first sizzle reel. I think I might have to hire you because if I can get some more highlight reels, that would only inflate my ego, which I don't need. But that was a hell of a highlight reel. So thank you.
You're not the first person to say that, but I'll tell you, I'm thankful for AI in 2025.
Yes, we aren't we all? I get that question a lot or something similar. Thank you. I think I would like, it gives me a chance to clear up a misconception right off the bat. I actually don't eat huge quantities. I fill up very, very quickly. So it's not to say that I'm not eating the food that I had in front of me, but It's not necessarily happening all of it in one meal. When my fiance and I are eating at home, if we order takeout or delivery, or even when we're cooking, whatever we make or have is often lasting us a couple of days. So I understand why people might think I'm only eating fatty foods and over again all day, every day. It's far from the case. And when I'm not creating content with my food, I'm eating very light, very clean. I try to be healthy as much as I can. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to sort of clear up those misconceptions right off the bat. And I also try to work out, 4 or 5 days a week and stay active and stay in shape as best I can.
Yeah, well, you do a good job. And usually if those of us that have, watched for a long time now, you can tell that you get an order and split it with your fiance and, things of that nature. So, but yeah, I'm jealous. I'm also jealous because full disclosure, being in a small town that I am, our options are pizza and fast food a lot of places. And you being a Jersey boy, you got quite a bit around you. So you get to expand in there. And before we kind of get into your journey, just from my own kind of personal, I guess, inquisiting, man, my brain just went. And from my own knowledge, so like of all the stuff you get, I mean, you tend to, I see you lean into the Jersey staples quite a bit. But you definitely go other, ethnicities, other cultures, other backgrounds. So what's your favorites to kind of go? What's the staples that in the Hammer House?
Yeah, being from Jersey, we're very blessed. I think we've got, we don't have it all, but we've got a lot, and we've got it all at our disposal within 5, 10, 15 minutes. particularly sandwiches and pizza and bagels. So those are three things that are have been stalwarts in my life and in my house from an early age. But sushi and Japanese food are something that my fiance and I are huge into. We eat sushi once a week probably. We're really loving Indian food. We're still, I would say, rookies, or some novice level. We're still dipping our toes in, but every time we eat it, we are trying more things, and it's been all hits so far. Mexican food, but we don't have a lot of great Mexican food. That's one thing that it's lacking, at least where we live.
Right.
Jersey has some very high quality Mexican food. I love Chinese food. I grew up eating Chinese food with my family every weekend. I'm trying to find great Thai food around here. I'm really trying to expand my horizons, and branch out of the, I guess what I can call like a pretty typical white household growing
Right.
up.
Right. I would recommend, yeah. So we went to the Salvation Army Training College is in Rockland County, New York. So it was literally on the border of Jersey, and we're 30 minutes from the city. I love Jersey people. I hate Jersey driving. But we got to experience quite a bit of cultures and food, and I'll recommend finding different African cultures around you. Some great stuff in there. We are some of our good friends we're some from Zimbabwe, and my kids still ask for them to bring uh, bring some food to them. So yeah, it's so great to be able to expand that knowledge. Have you done the walk in and just tell them, give me what you'd like what you eat kind of thing, or are you trying on your own?
Sort of, yes. Especially if it's a cuisine that I've never had before. I will do a little bit of research, or I will have gotten recommendations from people as to what to order. But I will always ask whoever I'm ordering from, to weigh in. And
Yeah.
even when I'm out to eat at a restaurant, it could be a restaurant that I'm very familiar with. I always ask my server, what are your personal favorites? And I'm not asking them what's popular. I want to
Right,
know
right.
what they are digging at the moment. What's something that's like not getting the buzz that it should be getting, something that
Right.
they have not stopped eating every day on their break, that sort of thing. But when I'm trying a new cuisine for the first time, um, let me think. Like I went to a place to get baleadas a few months ago, and I had some recommendations as to what to get, but I ordered at the counter and I was like, "Hey, I've never had this before. Help me pick out the right one." And they were more than happy to do so,
Yeah.
right? They were excited for me
Right,
to
right.
try it for the first time. So it's great when I get to get some insight from the experts.
Yeah. It really is, and maybe that's I'm not a food influencer, but I am a fat guy, and so I know, and you would not, like it's such a I don't know, it's such an interesting and such a wonderful thing when you ask somebody from another culture, hey, what do you enjoy? They want you to enjoy what they enjoy. We went to an El Salvadorian place. And they had pupusas, and we had never had pupusas before, and we just said, "Hey, what do you get?" Next thing I know, they're just bringing out plates and drinks and stuff for our family, and they were telling us, "You don't need that. The kids will like this." And not saying this happens everywhere, but the bill was half of what it should have been.
Sure.
They just wanted, it was just like the grandma in the back wanted to feed you because you were hungry.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a similar story with pupusas specifically as well, but I went to a place where without knowing this in advance, they didn't speak a lick of English.
Oh yeah.
I know a very little bit of Spanish, so I was
Right.
able to sort of broken word my way through the order, and but I wanted to let them know it was my first time, and I wanted
Yeah.
them to help me pick the best one. I don't know if I fully communicated that, but whatever I got was delicious. And to go back to what I was saying before, I'm going in somewhere that I'm the rookie, right? I
Right.
might have my own opinions on many foods, and I do, right? You know that, and I'm not afraid to share those. But I'm also not afraid to be like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing here. I need someone to walk me through this. I want to lean on you and your expertise and your personal opinions as well, because that's the only
Yeah.
way for me to really learn it also.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, and, I can't think of a time that I did that that I was disappointed. Like, I don't think I was ever let down by that experience.
Mhm.
Well, as we've gotten off an exit here, as if fat guys in food tend to do, this is about,
That's just a
your
Jersey thing too, like exits. I don't know how much you know about that, but like what exit you are in Jersey is a very big thing.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I do know about that, and yeah, so we got off the let's talk about food exit, but let's come back on and talk about you. And this is kind of your journey to be this food influencer, if you will. That I believe you are full time now in the content creation, and so how did this whole thing happen? Did you ever see this as something like you're going to jump straight into, or did this happen by happenstance? And did you always have a passion for sharing your food, opinions?
It really happened by accident in many ways. I grew up a picky eater, to be
Mhm.
honest, which might surprise people.
Yeah,
Um,
there's
I
hope
liked
for
what
my
I liked,
son.
and I was really into those things, but I was hesitant to stray from what I knew.
Mhm.
Going out to eat with my family, with other families, I would be reluctant to try something that, you know, other people were ordering, but I would just stick to the basics because it was what I was comfortable with. Um, I When I went to college, I studied finance. That's what I have my degree in. I was an avid social media user just growing up in this era that I did. I loved being on Twitter as a consumer, contributing to Twitter. Like it was how I got my news, my entertainment. Um, I quickly realized after college that finance was not for me. I never even really got too far into that water. I would say I barely dipped my toes in before realizing I needed something more creative. And I sort of plugged away at different creative jobs, a little bit of writing, a little bit of social media here. I stumbled into a mystery dining job on the side. It
Hmm.
was part time after my job that I was miserable at, my full time job. And
Could you
that gave
expand
me,
what mystery dining is? Maybe people don't know.
yeah, I was essentially going, I wouldn't even call it undercover, but I was going out to eat and
Mhm.
drink at what I would what I considered like expensive, fancy places in Manhattan, for free. And I would go home and write a report after. I would answer all these questions about everything from the cleanliness of the space to the food, to the service, to the timing it took between ordering the appetizer and the appetizer hitting the table. They wanted to know everything
Right.
about the experience, top to bottom, start to finish. So it gave me a chance to go out to eat and try different restaurants and try different cuisines. I was doing it for free because that was great. I couldn't afford to eat at those restaurants and
Right.
drink at those fancy rooftop bars. B, and then also I was having to describe the experiences, part of which was the food. So in order to remember what the dish looked like, I would take a picture on my phone. That way, when I go home, I can recall exactly what it was, right?
Yeah.
The cheesecake was served on a red round plate. It had a blueberry compote on the left side, like little things like that that normally you wouldn't pay attention to, but I had to.
Hmm.
So I would start posting those pictures on my own, probably Snapchat and Instagram at the time. And my friends gravitated to it a little bit, just people I knew, like, oh, that looks so good. I would love to go out with you and do this, and let me know when you need someone to go to your next meal with you. And that really opened my eyes to different cuisines and different foods. And it was about the time where I moved out and was living on my own. So I was forced to cook for myself and fend for myself and go out to eat. So I it opened my eyes to the world of food and finding my way through the day by
Yep.
with different meals. I loved Food Network on TV
Yep.
also, right? That got me through college, watching
Guy Fieri.
Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives, and watching Giada and Ina Garten. She's my favorite.
Nice.
So that really it really made me passionate about food. And then my job, as I said, I started doing different creative jobs, and I leveraged one into the next and one into the next. And I ended up working at an ad agency for 5.5 years, where I was essentially running accounts, social media accounts for big brands. So
Wow.
I had this knowledge of from the brands and from the agency side, and I was also making my own content a little bit outside of work. Um, I started making my own food videos during COVID, like most people.
Yeah.
When they got on TikTok, it was probably January of 2021, and for a very long time, nothing worked, nothing stuck. But I just kept experimenting and experimenting, and things started to click a little bit. And what I was learning at work, I was applying to my content, and what I was learning from posting content, I was bringing to work. And I think they were mutually beneficial, and they were helping one another, and it helped me succeed in my career and also succeed with my content. Fast forward, and I was able to leave my agency job and go all in as a content creator. So it really, I never would have been able to draw this path myself. It's been a really interesting ride so far, but it feels like it's just the beginning in many ways.
Yeah. Well, and I love the piece that I love of your story is, a lot of times, we don't know our passions to begin with. We kind of learn them. But B, just seeing, we believe God gives you this stuff, and just seeing the building blocks that are happening, like food, learning your food when you were going to the ad agency, like everything was symbiotic, and it was all moving upward. And I had a conversation with a PR person, was one of my guests a little while back, and she just talked about taking little things from all these experiences and applying them to her agency and where she's going now. But I imagine along that path, it wasn't all rainbows and Skittles. Were there bumps along the way? Were there times where I think in this day and age, everybody sees content creators and go, right there, I'll put up something overnight. And you kind of touched on a little bit, but can you maybe touch on some of the struggles along the way that you had?
Yeah, it's a crazy world that we're in now, with even being able to do this as a full-time job is
Mhm.
pretty crazy to come to terms with.
Right.
But there's so many people making content. Everything is so saturated. It really feels like you're buying a lottery ticket every time you post a piece of content, and the odds of it, succeeding or blowing up or going viral, whatever term you like to, it's so hard to break through. And it's only getting harder and harder to break through because so many more people are getting on board and taking their at bats, for lack of a better term. I wasn't even early to TikTok, I don't think. Maybe relative to the lifetime of it, right? People are just starting now. Maybe they think I was one of the pioneers, but I was far from it. People were already massive on that platform, but I was early, I guess, in that sort of thing, in that mindset. I think but also with a lottery ticket, it could work. You could
Right.
cash in on the lottery ticket. So my point is, every video, every piece of content that I post, that you post, that somebody else posts, it might take off. It might not. You're very much at the mercy of the algorithms, which are changing
Right.
all the
All the time.
time. We don't know how they're changing or why or who's being affected by it, who's reaping the benefits from it, who's going to be left in the dust from it. So that's really challenging, knowing that you might be really proud of this piece of content that you made, and it just may fall flat and no one's going to
Right.
see it. It's often the silliest videos are the ones that you care the least about, or the ones that you think have the least odds of succeeding that actually do succeed.
Right.
But it is a numbers game as well. Being consistent and being in the gym, putting in the reps. And by that, I mean posting content and showing up the next day and the next day. And just because yesterday's video didn't do well, shouldn't discourage someone from doing it again today and trying it differently, being willing to taste and test and try different formats and find a style that works for them. I think a lot of people take inspiration from other people who are successful on these platforms,
Right.
myself included,
Yeah.
and they try to mimic them. But what they're doing is they're hurting themselves because they're not finding their own voice.
Right.
It took me a long time to figure out something that really worked for me because I don't think I'm doing anything that is super unique in the sense that I'm highlighting food. Everybody eats every single
Right.
day.
Right.
I'm not eating foods that people aren't eating. I think what I've done is I've put my personality out there as well. And I
Yeah.
use storytelling and a little bit of comedy to
Yeah.
tie it all together. I don't think my fiance would agree with that. She doesn't think I'm very funny. Um, but I'm it's not just about the food for me. It's about the experience and
Yeah.
going out to eat and having those conversations at the dinner table.
Yeah.
I think I've gone off an exit here as well.
No, I love it. You're right. You're right on.
But the challenges are there's so many. It's so hard to break through. I think people get discouraged very easily when something doesn't work. But being in there, being a consumer, scrolling, seeing what people are doing, what's working, being willing to try and test and taste new things, and then showing up every single day, and not every day for a week or a month, but doing it. Try it for 6 months, and then
Right.
see if you're still failing every day. Probably not.
Right. And by the way, I know your fiance won't agree, but your comedy's in your facials. Like your personality comes through, and when you're, you know, eating there. And I totally agree. And if you really look at food influencers, yourself, and I think of like people like King Scratch or people like that, it's it's them. Like it's you coming through, and that's the the kicker. And yeah, so many people, I love that you said try to emulate other people. I do. My interview style, I've my one of my hopes is to get podcaster Chris Van Vliet. He's an interviewer and done all this stuff. He's huge influence on me. So one day it might happen. And but I gotta, I don't want to take up too much of your time here too. So I'm thinking, when I'm doing this, I get to do this not to make money or anything like that, which is, takes a little pressure off of me. But in doing this, I've also wanted to make sure that I'm making an impact and getting something for myself. And I remember the day that I got WWE Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett on the show. That's my name drop. And but as I was sitting there, I was thinking of like 7-year-old me, 9-year-old me watching him in the ring and everything. And I just went, man, I get to do this. Like I get to interview a hero of mine. Have you had that moment yet in all of this journey? Like, and I'm thinking, your Manhattan spots and going to Italy and all this other stuff. Have you had that moment where you're like, man, content creation has gave me this. I get to do this.
There's one moment where I remember being able to sort of take a step back and recognize how awesome everything had been up and leading up to this moment. And that was last year. My fiance and I, she was my plus one. We got sent out to London by DraftKings for the Jets Vikings game out in London, fully expensed. And not only were we sent out there on their dime to go to the game to watch the Jets, who are my team,
Right.
but we were put up in a suite for the game, like this incredible box, pretty much right on the 50-yard line, best view in the house. And we got into this suite before the game. I think they were handing out champagne, and I looked at my fiance and I said something along the lines of, all of the silly videos that I make at the kitchen table, I think it's worth it. Like
Right.
it led to this. It's not one thing that led to this. It's a
Right.
culmination of all the things that I've tried, the things that have worked, the things that don't work, the things that we both like, things that we don't like, everything. It's the sum is greater than its parts, or the part,
Yeah.
whatever that
Yeah.
phrase is.
Yeah.
That was a very, very cool moment. And then now my newest project is looking for the best stadium food in the country. So I've been traveling around to different stadiums, a lot of baseball
So
stadiums. I
jealous.
love
Yeah.
baseball.
Yes.
I've said it online before. This is literally my dream job, going to different stadiums and watching baseball, eating all the stadium foods. That is the dream for so many people to just visit all different
Yeah.
stadiums and ballparks or whatever the case is, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yes, right. So that has been very cool, and this is a very new venture for me. So I can't say that it is a massive success yet. It is going to be. I am so delusionally confident in it,
Right.
but I think I should be, and I think I have to
Yeah.
be. But if you would have told me 10, even 5 years ago, 5, 10, 20 years ago, that my job would be eating food and making videos and specifically going to stadiums to do so,
Yeah.
I would have called you a liar.
Right.
So it's really exciting, and the fact that it's still brand new is giving me this energy, and it's invigorating because there's so much potential there, and I'm so jacked up about it.
Oh, and it's really good content. I'd highly recommend anybody listening to go back. I don't care what time you're hearing this, go back and watch his videos. Actually, I DM'd Eric yesterday because my son was binge watching his stadium videos, and my 12-year-old, and I can't blame him. Yeah, that is like the dream for most of us sports fans, and to have that. My wife and I are super jealous. Like, we've got the count of how many stadiums we've been to and everything else. And I do recommend, maybe not for the food, but just for the game. I believe you've already gone, but PNC Park in Pittsburgh is,
It's
oh,
an incredible place to
amazing,
watch a baseball game.
amazing.
If you're sitting in a spot where you get the view of the city and the bridges,
Yeah,
it is magical. It really is a special place to watch a baseball game. I was there not long ago. It was my second time there. Pittsburgh, I think, gets a pretty bad rap. I don't know
yeah,
why. I've enjoyed
no,
it
love it.
thoroughly both times I've been there. And one more thing, being able to do this, I've said it's a dream job. Sports is just as big of a passion for me as food, and probably even bigger just because I've been a sports fan my entire life.
Right.
I was sports obsessed as a child, not so much with food. So being able to combine these two things, the two things that I care most about in terms of like interest for me, that is really the dream.
Yeah, I absolutely, and, yeah, unfortunately, Pirates suck, but the stadium's, beautiful, and,
They deserve
uh,
better. They deserve a good product on the field.
might sell the team, and I'm a Red Sox fan, but I'm saying sell the team. You know, well, this is, just incredible to hear your journey and to go, see what's happened through. I know that there's probably people listening, saying like, "Man, this is," or watching, just saying, "Hey, this is what I would love to do that too." But I end every conversation the same way, and I want to ask you the question. You've had this long journey, and you see the building blocks, but what would Eric now say to Eric at 12 years old?
I think I would say the same thing to Eric at 12 years old, as well as anybody else at any age. And that would be to lean into things that you're interested in and do what you love, which I know sounds so cliche and simple, but I
Right.
don't believe that we have to work a job that we hate. And I understand
Absolutely.
that it doesn't mean you can just leave your job for something cool at
Right.
any point in your life. But I do think it should be a sign of, if you're interested in something, pursue that. You don't know what doors are going to open or what's going to come from that. It might lead to a job, it might not, but you might have something outside of your job that you are so interested in that it's filling your cup.
Yeah.
It is fulfilling you creatively in so many ways where you can have that and have your job that pays your bills. I think leaning in, finding your passion, tasting and testing and trying new things. I've said that before. I think that's so important. I think if you really do double down on things that you love, whether it's professionally or not, I
Yeah.
think it's going to lead to great things, and doors are going to open. You're going to meet other people who are just
Right.
as passionate about those things, right? I've met amazing people from creating videos online. I have some of my best friends as a result of this.
Right.
And again, I said it before, I feel like I'm just getting started, and who
Yeah.
knows what doors are going to open. I have goals and ambitions like everybody else, but I'm also excited for the unknown and
Right.
what will come. I'm not really sure, which is I'm okay with that. And a while ago I was probably scared of that, of the unknown. But now I'm embracing that because it's giving me a little bit of freedom to just kind of let it rip and see
Right.
what happens. But I think without taking that chance of, I switched careers from finance to a little bit of marketing and creative stuff. Like that was a bit of a gamble. I was scared.
Yeah.
I don't know, 25, 26. I wasn't a seasoned veteran in that career, but I chased something else that I was like, I think this is something that I actually want to do. Let me
Right.
go after it. If I don't do it now, it's only going to get harder to
Right.
make that leap. So that would be the advice that I would give, or the words of wisdom that I would speak to 12-year-old Eric or anybody, whether you feel stuck or not. And it could, again, it doesn't have to be about your job. If there's something that you love to do,
Do it.
continue to do that. If you love to watch movies, do that. Lean into it. Anything. It's just a very silly example, but it's simple, and it really should be simple. But I don't know
Yeah.
how I don't know if people really believe that they can, lean into those things that they actually love as much as
Yep.
they want to.
Yeah, I love that. And your story is a perfect example. Like you you never know what block is going to lead to the next one in building this. And when you find your passion, movies is a great example. You love watching movies. Maybe you want to learn how to be a key grip. Maybe you want to learn how to be a PA so you're on movie sets. Like there's ways around it. And people have asked me in the past, how do you know that you were called to be a Salvation Army officer? And my answer has always been very simple. When I wake up, I can't see myself doing anything else. Like if that's how you feel with your passion, and I love that you said it doesn't have to be your job. I make this and this, a lot of people lean into it has to be your job. It doesn't. You did it for a while with your job, and you saw where that led. Well, Eric, I am so thankful that you came on, that you gave us a little bit of your time. I do want to say for those watching the video of this podcast, he's even working now. His home is not a diner. Uh, he's just, you need like the booklet menu, right? And you need that.
It would be so perfect. This gigantic thing with a million things on it.
Yeah, and in the background, a sassy waitress telling you to shut up, get off that, and order. But I thank you so much. And is there anything you want to plug your social media? I got you there. And if you want anything else you wanted to say to everyone listening or watching, and where to go and what to look out for.
No, I mean the plug. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm at the Eric Hammer across all the important all the important social platforms. As I said before, I'm looking for the best stadium food in the country. So I've been doing a lot of traveling, and I got a lot more things in store for that. But I'm also still doing the things that I've done for the past couple of years, highlighting some great restaurants and places to get some food in Jersey and in New York City, highlighting local businesses. I love doing that, finding some hidden gems, and really just taking you all with me as I eat. And it's been a great journey so far, and I'm just getting started, and I'm excited for what's to come.
Yeah, I know. Personally, I have never wanted to try a place more than I want to try O Bagel, just because of your videos, and I had knew nothing about it. But when I'm around your way, which I know somewhere in my journey I will be, it is marked on my stop now.
Oh,
So
Bagel's
I'm
the
looking.
spot. That is the
Yeah.
spot. Those are the homies.
I love, it's one thing I miss around here. We need a good New York, Jersey. I know there's a few there, but a good that area, metro area bagel. So
Yeah, like I said, we're blessed around here. I don't know if I could ever leave this area just for the things that I mentioned, right? Bagels,
yeah,
pizza, and sandwiches. Like the bread here is top tier.
it is incredible. I can't wait. Well, Eric, thank you so much. And I would say everybody go check out Eric's socials. They're really fun and bite-sized chunks. If you just need an escape for a few minutes every day, go check out his stuff. Go look at his back stuff. I really recommend the stadium eats if you're a baseball fan and looking for stuff. And Eric, thank you so much. And we're going to be back with another episode of Get to Know. So thank you, everybody, and see you later.
Thanks, Mike.